Do you ever feel like you're drowning in assignments, lectures, and to-do lists? You're not alone. We've all been there, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to catch up without losing your mind. Whether you're trying to catch up on lectures, assignments, or just finding a bit of balance, this video has some solid strategies that will get you back on track and help you stay sane along the way. Hey, I'm Bartol. I'm an Oxford graduate with a master's in mechanical engineering, and over the years I've helped over 100 students with their applications to Oxford and mentoring them with techniques on how to study better. I've felt this pressure myself, juggling deadlines and wondering, how will I ever get it done? But here's the thing, it's absolutely doable, and I'm here to guide you through it. I faced many similar struggles, often falling behind with my studies by the third week of an 8-week semester. And now I want to share 5 steps I've used to catch back up in no time and even use this pressure to your advantage. Step 1, take a break. First thing, calm down. I know it might feel like the mountain of work is towering over you, but take a breath. You've got this. The key to managing overwhelming tasks is breaking them down into manageable pieces. So let's start with balance. Assess where you're at and prioritize. Grab a piece of paper and write everything down. Do a brain dump of all the things you need to catch up on. Assignments, readings, projects, exam prep, or anything else on your to-do list. Just get everything out of your head and onto paper. This will instantly give you clarity, and you'll start to feel less anxious about all the stuff floating around in your mind. Next, break things down into categories. Assignments, reading, exam prep. Group similar tasks together to give you a clear overview of the workload. This will help you see not only the full scope of what needs to be done, but also the immediate actionable things you can do to start moving forward. Now you'll have a concrete list of what's required, and you'll stop feeling like you're lost in this maze of work. Once you've got this, the next step is to break tasks down into smaller, bite-sized chunks. Let's face it, looking at an entire project is quite daunting, and so setting small, actionable tasks is much easier to process. For example, instead of saying I need to write a 2,000-word essay, instead think of it as tasks of researching the topic, creating an outline, writing the introduction, drafting the paragraphs. You see what I'm saying. Once you complete these small tasks, your momentum will build, and it gives a nice structure for the overall task to complete, rather than looking at the big task as a daunting prospect, which it is. Another thing about momentum is, as you slowly tick these tasks off your list, it gives a positive feedback loop, and it reassures you, building confidence and helping you progress through the catching up process. As you keep on going, you'll feel like you're in more control of the entire process. Plus, you can check your progress in real time by seeing how many things you've ticked off. And rather than looking at it like you didn't write the essay, you know exactly which tasks of the essay you have done. Now, as you do this, you'll soon realize that the mountain of work wasn't as big as you thought it was. And as you broke it down into simple steps, you realize that every part was actionable and doable. Step 2, block out time for focused work. Now that you've broken down your tasks, it's time to get down to business, carving out specific blocks of time to tackle each task. The key here is treating your study or work time like any other important appointment. No excuses, no distractions. Just as you would schedule a meeting or a doctor's appointment, you need to schedule your study sessions or catch-up time in your calendar. If you've fallen behind on lectures, don't just hope you'll find time to catch up. Set times where you will. This way your study time becomes an intentional part of your day rather than something that just happens, or most likely doesn't. Consistency is your greatest weapon here. The goal isn't to sit down for 2 hours at a time, and honestly that's rarely sustainable. Instead, aim for small but regular sessions. Think of it this way, spending 30 minutes every day on a focused task might not seem like a high workload, but over time the progress will add up. Again, this momentum builds on itself, and the approach is much more effective than cramming long, exhausting sessions that leave you feeling burnt out and demotivated. Another thing is making the most of your time. So in these scheduled sessions, make sure you're focused in this time. Again, no distractions. Put your phone on silent or even physically far away from you. Close down all unnecessary tabs on your computer and let others know what you're doing so that they don't disturb you and so that you are accountable for anything you don't do. The beauty of these small focused chunks is that they often allow for a higher level of productivity than a few longer ones. When you sit down to work, be all in. Whether it's a deep dive into lectures, reading for assignments, or revising for exams, make each block count. If you stick with this strategy, you'll be amazed how quickly you can catch up. Step 3. Using active learning techniques. When you're catching up on lecture material or readings, it's essential to remember that passive reading is just not going to cut it. Simply skimming through pages or highlighting key points may give you a sense of progress, but it's not the most effective way to truly absorb and retain material. Instead, you need to actively engage with the content in a way that forces your brain to process and understand the things you're learning. This might mean taking detailed notes, creating mind maps, or even summarizing contents in your own word. One incredibly powerful technique, and his personal favorite, is to quiz yourself. After reading a section, pause and try to recall the key ideas, or use a software like Anki or Quizlet to make flashcards which do that for you. This active recall forces your brain to retrieve information and reinforces their memory. Another great way to engage with the material is to teach it to someone else. Now, this is the Feynman technique, and by being able to teach it to someone, it means that you understand the concepts to a point where you can break it down into the most simple elements. And the ultimate goal is to be able to teach anything to a 5-year-old. Again, separate out the tasks into manageable chunks and then attack them in an actively engaging way. By actively engaging with your material and applying focused techniques to your assignments, you'll retain more information, improve your efficiency, and start to feel much more on top of your workload, even doing less work for the same results. Step 4. Stay consistent, but don't skip the breaks. As you work through your tasks, the urge to keep pushing through without stopping can be quite strong, especially if you're behind on your workload and on a roll with things. However, non-stop work is a recipe for burnout. Your brain, just like your body, needs its rest and recovery to function at its best. Continuously hammering away at tasks without breaks or downtime can lead to mental fatigue, decreased focus, and diminished productivity. This is why regular breaks are crucial, particularly after long study sessions. And when you take breaks, don't just allow yourself to look at your phone or rest in unproductive ways like Googling things, but get up, stretch, drink some water, and actively rest from the workload. A powerful method to help you take breaks is the Pomodoro technique, where you would study for 25 minutes and take a break for 5 minutes. And in this way, you have regular breaks coming up, which let your brain focus on things other than your workload, and in essence, improve the efficiency of your study session by giving your brain time to absorb the material it's just focused on for the past 25 minutes. Obviously, don't skip meals or sacrifice sleep in the name of catching up. This may seem like a time-saving tactic, but it's overall detrimental, and there is plenty of science that has been conducted which backs this up, so don't compromise on these things. It's better to use time more efficiently than try to buy it by taking it away from important things like sleep, exercise, or nutrition. Step 5. Get help if you need it. Finally, don't be afraid to ask for help if you're behind. This is often one of the most powerful ways to accelerate your progress. It's easy to feel like you have to do everything on your own, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed. But trying to push through challenges without seeking support can actually slow you down and lead to unnecessary stress. Whether it's reaching out to your professors, joining a study group, or seeking guidance from mentors, asking for help can provide you with valuable insights and alternative processes, which would be quicker than if you were to just try and find them yourself. When you're struggling with a concept or a specific assignment, it's tempting to just keep working on your own, but sometimes a quick conversation with a professor, even if it's 15 minutes, can completely improve your clarity on the situation. Professors often enjoy this engagement with them, and they like to see that you are really trying to focus and improve in their lessons, and so they will definitely take this as a positive. And another thing, you will begin to notice how the professor thinks of their work and engages with the subject, and this might help you in future exams. So overall, there's no shame in asking for help. It's actually a strength, and it shows that you're actively wanting to improve. It's also an essential part of the learning process. Getting behind is a part of life, but it doesn't have to derail your entire semester. With a solid plan, smart prioritization, and a little help from others, you can definitely get back on track. Just remember to pace yourself and not get too bogged down by guilt or stress or the minutiae, but focus on the big picture. It's all about balance, and if you make time for both your studies and your well-being, you'll be able to catch up without feeling stressed and burnt out. Now, if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of my other videos. Also, drop a comment below. I'm always curious to hear about how you're managing your studies and what challenges you're facing. Maybe I or others can help you out. Now, thanks for watching. Goodbye.